There are 4 judges on each apparatus, which again is different than a dual meet, gives them a lot more opportunity for those big scores.
All right, we are underway here with the quad box. You can see every routine, every single regional here on the ESPN app. It's Florida starting things off on beam. Peyton Richards is in the lower left corner. On floor, it's Central Michigan with Ashley Viglucci. On bars, Olivia O'Donnell. You can see that in the top right. And then on the top left is NC State with Victoria Prati.
And Florida starting on balance beam. This is a really good event for them to start on. They're a top-ranked team on all 4 events, but beam is somewhere they can really pull ahead. Again, #1 going into this competition. And Peyton Richards, such a strong athlete. Little crooked on that side aerial to a back full, but holds it together, gets that stuck landing. Really nice start for Florida.
And we mentioned with the Gators, they missed nationals in 2019. That was the first time since 2000, only the second time ever. Bridget, you were part of their 3 national championships from 2013 to 2015. For head coach Jenny Rowland, there's no doubt that there's a little bit to prove here to show, hey, we're still the same Florida Gators that you're used to.
Absolutely. I mean, every team is different. You have fresh faces, you have returning athletes. But Jenny has really just been stacked every year with talent. And then with the season being cut short last year, you know, every team competing here tonight has unfinished business. And that is what makes this competition so exciting, because they really weren't sure if postseason was going to happen. I mean, in the beginning of season, everyone was very unsure, unclear, and everyone did their job. They stayed in their bubble, and now here we are at regionals, another step closer to that NCAA championship.
Top right on bars, this is Nicole Biondi, the senior from Townsend, Massachusetts, who is the only all-arounder for the Fighting Illini. The 16th ranked school in the country. Their NQS this year, 196.863.
And Nicole is doing a great job so far. Nice double layout. Just a slight hop, but such a strong performer for Illinois. She's a senior. She's an experienced veteran for this team. Really, really nice job for her.
Trying to follow up Olivia O'Donnell, who started things out on bars for Illinois. Waiting on her score. Bottom right, it's Central Michigan to start things off. Nora Fettinger now for the Chippewas, making their 12th straight regionals berth. They finished 4th at the MAC championships with a disappointing 194.9, but it was something that I think everybody, including head coach Christine McDonald, can look at as a bit of a learning opportunity and a reset going into the NCAAs, because, Bridget, it's just different, isn't it?
It is different, and talking to her was so refreshing. I mean, she just really has a nice outlook on her team, and she just knows the talent they have. They just need to dig a little deeper to find it. And that is what makes, again, gymnastics is such an exciting sport to watch, but these gymnasts, they put in the work and they get rewarded.
Lower left on beam for Florida. First time we get to see Megan Skaggs, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, finishing off her beam routine and with a flourish. Tied for 11th on bars, and she can do some beam as well.
She really can. Megan is a truly incredible athlete in the gym, outside of the gym. Talking to head coach Jenny Rowland, she even said every athlete just turns to her. Her leadership, you just can't teach that. So inspiring for all of her teammates.
And trying to finish up this, or rather back up Peyton Richards, 9.85. Olivia O'Donnell started things off on bars with a 9.85 for Illinois, and there's another nice routine. That time for Mia Takakawa as we wait on Nicole Biondi's score for the Fighting Illini, and they've got a lot to prove as well, being the last seeded team in the tournament this year.
And I'll be honest, I think they can do a lot of damage here. I mean, watching them in warm-ups, they looked really clean. They look confident in their athletics, which is so important. They trust themselves, and the coaches, their entire coaching staff has just really gone a level up. with everything being so unknown, they've really come together. They've worked. They've kind of had to take it day by day, but, you know, the teams are feeding off of the coaching staff, which you really don't think about as much.
On the top left, you'll see for NC State, Emily Shepard starting her night. She is the only all-arounder for the Wolfpack. They've gone 9-7, 9-7, 7-5, and just a 9-8 right there by Madison Benson on vault in rotation number 1.
In NC State, this is day 2 of competition for them. They competed yesterday, they're back. And a nice Yurchenko full, really nice job. Great height, great distance from the vault. That's a 9.95 start value.
Here's Ellie Lazzari, the fantastic freshman. She's tied for 4th in the country on beam for Florida. You'll see her in the lower left. An All-American on this event and shared the title at SECs with Alabama's Lexi Graber and Luisa Blanco. Plus, we'll see Alyssa Bauman, who is on deck. She was part of that title as well.
And that was a unfortunate fall on floor for Central Michigan. It looked like she just didn't get the rotation, kind of ran out of gas. You see her walking back.
Yeah, tough right there for Sydney Williams, and we'll see if maybe that could be dropped for Central Michigan. As Chloe Negretti on her run on vault on the upper left. Oh!
And that is another stuck landing. Wow.
Couple of stuck Yurchenko fulls right there.
We mentioned it earlier. NC State, in my opinion, they have a little bit of an advantage. They've already bet on all the equipment. They're familiar with the atmosphere, with the arena. Now, this is day 2 for them. So it is they might be a little bit tired, but they are really showing out on vault, bringing the height, bringing the air awareness to get those stuck landings.
With last year's championships being wiped out because of the pandemic, this is only the 2nd year that we've seen this format. So it'll be very interesting, you know, can a team that starts on day 1 get all the way to the regional final? That would be quite the story, don't you think?
Oh, anything can happen, that's all I'm gonna say.
I think I've heard that from you, I don't know, maybe like 20, 25 times, but it's so true.
It's the beauty of gymnastics.
Sometimes it's
gotta
beautiful.
stay on your toes. Exactly. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's not. But these athletes definitely make this sport beautiful. They are so fun to watch.
Well, Florida's showing why it's the top beam rotation in the country. 9.85 for Richards, 9.9 for Skaggs. Lazzari just posted a 9.95, and we haven't even gotten to Bauman, Clapper, and Schoenherr yet. This is Alyssa Bauman on the bottom left of your screen. Bauman is a senior from Dallas. She's tied for 13th in the country on the beam and one of 6 finalists for the AAI Award. That is the Heisman Trophy of women's gymnastics, if you're not familiar, given to the top senior annually. And Bridget, we have 3 of the 6 finalists in the Athens Regional alone. That's pretty special.
That just goes to show you how tough this regional is. I mean, these are truly the top of the top athletes here, and every team competing at the regionals this weekend is a top contender for that NCAA championship.
Bottom right for Central Michigan, this is Sierra DeMarinis going for CMU, or check that, Hannah Demers. So far on bars for Illinois, we can see on the upper right part of your screen everything that has come in. They could drop a 9.75 at this point, which would be pretty solid, I think. For the head coach, Natalie Walsh, in her 4th season. And Jenny is pretty happy with Alyssa Bauman's routine on beam, I would say, on the lower left.
Oh, wow. I mean, they seem to be having stick after stick. Doesn't matter who it is, what team. I mean, I've always said sticks are contagious, but it looks to me like everyone in the arena is noticing. Everyone else is sticking.
Well, Florida does have not only something to prove from 2019, but then factor in that they go undefeated in the SEC again, finish third at the SEC championships to Alabama and to LSU. That doesn't happen very often. So there's some fire there, and this is a very proud program, as you know, Bridget, and it doesn't matter that you only have to be top 2 to get to the regional final. I mean, anything less than 1 just isn't, it's not good enough.
I don't want to say it's not good enough because, I mean, tonight it's all about being in those top 2 spots, qualifying to tomorrow. And then tomorrow, definitely you want to be in that #1 spot. You want to solidify that #1 spot. But, you know, Florida getting 3rd place at SECs, I'm sure it put a little bit of a fire underneath them. They really... You know, when we talked to Jenny, she was like, no, they're good, everything's great, and things just happen. You know, it's one of those things where, I know I've said it before, and I'll say it probably 15 more times tonight, anything can happen in this sport. You can be ranked #1 going in, and you won't make it out alive.
Here is Leah Clapper, who is in the #5 spot now for Florida. Jenny Rowland said that they had their best warm-up of the year. They just didn't take care of the controllables, and this was a nice reset for them. You know, hey, you can go undefeated in the SEC, but if you don't have a good night in the postseason, that could be it. It's just that easy. Of course, one of the storylines that we'll be following, we'll get into in just a little bit, is Trinity Thomas, the top all-arounder in the country, dealing with a couple of sprained ankles. We will not see her in the all-around. We didn't see her in the SECs. It won't happen this weekend. They're hoping to get her back for the semifinals if Florida is able to advance that far, but I mean, that's a major story because you're taking a few potential 9-9s out of the lineup.
Oh, you're taking a few potential 9.95s or better out of the lineup with Trinity Thomas.
Right,
she
9.9 as minimum, right?
yes. Getting her back in the lineup is definitely important, but Florida right now, they've got the talent, they've got the depth. I mean, you look at this team, even without Trinity, they still are a fantastic team to watch.
And we've seen it so far on beam. It has really played out. Alyssa Bauman just, I mean, there's a reason that she was hugging her coach with that kind of intensity. A career-high 9.975. Leah Clapper was just fantastic as well, and Savannah Shanehair will close things out. The junior from Columbus, Georgia, competing in her home state.
And Central Michigan finishing up on floor. This is a big moment for Central Michigan. This is, in my opinion, this is a great confidence booster for this team. No matter how things work today, where they finish, they've gotten to this point and they have worked their tails off to get here. I mean, going through a pandemic, some of them didn't train for months. And they really put in the work during regular season, and here they are today. Sierra gonna finish us off on floor exercise for Central Michigan. Really, they're just doing their job.
I mean, Christine McDonald, the head coach of the Chippewas, told us that they took a 7th-month hiatus from training. I mean, Bridget, could you imagine in the middle of a season taking 7 whole months off? I mean, you're basically training your body year-round, and then you just have to go full stop.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me that today, I would say 7 months off sounds great. But as a gymnast, taking 7 months off, that is, yeah, that's big time. Mentally, that's when you really focus on the details that you can control. Your mental toughness, going through visualization, you know, keeping up with your workouts that you can do on your own. That's what sets you apart.
9.95 for Leah Clapper and Florida. So on beam, Shane Hare will finish things out. And this is our first look at Sierra DeMarinis on floor for Central Michigan, starting things off well. The only all-arounder in the lineup for the Chippewas. And that is quite a good beginning for Jenny Rowland and the top-ranked Gators, I would say.
Little short on that double pike. You saw she didn't quite have the rotation. She wanted to stand up tall at the end, but stays on her feet, and a nice finish.
At this point, with what we just saw from DeMarinis, you'd have to think Sydney Williams' 9.025 is going away. And right now they're counting the lowest score would be Ashley Viglucci's 9.8 to start things off on floor. Central Michigan doing what it needs to. For Florida, at this point, dropping Peyton Richards' 9.85. Everything else has been a 9.9 or better, including two 9.5s and a 9.975.
Florida's looking pretty good, but Central Michigan, I mean, they are very consistent on floor. You see, not huge 9.9, 9.95s, but their lowest score right now, and I'm pretty confident Sierra is going to go above a 9.025. So if they're only counting a 9.8 and everything above a 9.8, they are keeping that consistent, and they just got to keep that going the rest of the meet.
Yeah, that's exactly what they have to do in order to get into the regional final. I think if you ask Christine McDonald what do we need to see out of this team, that would be it. We'll just have to see. It's a 9.825 for Shane Hare, so actually they're going to drop the anchor score, which doesn't happen all that often, but it's a 49.625 in rotation number one. Absolutely massive for the top beam team in the country. So this is out of Nebraska, Kylie Perringer, an individual competing with that can certainly happen and does happen all throughout the country when your team doesn't qualify. If you've had a good enough year on a certain event or in the all-around, you get a chance to advance as well.
And starts things off. That was a beautiful double layout, full control in her landings. You want to see these athletes float when they're doing these tumbling passes. Complete air awareness, know where they are, and she did just that. As an individual, you really have to dig deep. Your team is not there. You're not in front of your home crowd. A lot of factors go into it, but I think that's what makes gymnasts so impressive as athletes, is no matter what the situation, they can still compete. They can still get the job done.
They did just post Sierra DeMarinis' score for Central Michigan on floor. It's a 9.7, so that gives a 49 flat on floor for Central Michigan. Not a bad start right there.
Not a bad start. A little low in my opinion. The judges and I don't really see eye to eye all the time. We sometimes watch different gymnastics.
I think you always watch different gymnastics.
Really great start for Central Michigan.
Yeah.
Kylie putting in that work for Nebraska.
And so that's it in rotation number one. We are off and running here in Athens. Obviously the highlight, no doubt, for Florida. I mean, the number one team in the country is showing why and putting the pressure on from the get-go. A 49.625. That is super impressive, no doubt about that. And so when you get with this first rotation, there's no doubt about it that it's Florida's at this point. NC State holding on to a small lead right now over Illinois. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, this is the top all-arounder in the country right there, and Trinity Thomas for Florida. Unfortunately, a couple of sprained ankles, so we will only have the pleasure of seeing her on bars, but she is a fantastic athlete and really a latecomer to the sport. Only 7 years old when she started gymnastics, but Bridget Sloan, there is no doubt this is one of the most spectacular athletes in any sport in the entire country, and I don't have any issues saying that whatsoever.
No, and you are not wrong. I mean, Trinity Thomas really just defines college gymnastics, in my opinion, sometimes. Like, when she goes out there, she does nearly perfect routines almost every single time. So having her out with these ankle injuries is really unfortunate for Florida, but guess what? She's still there. She is still a huge part of this team. She contributes in every way she can. And when we see her on bars, I can guarantee she's going to hit one heck of a bar routine.
Thomas, the only gymnast in the nation to win the maximum 5 All-American honors. You see, she had 15 already in her storied career. She's only a junior with 73 event titles. And Bridget, you want her to break a pretty special record that you hold right now at Florida, don't you?
Yes. Break all my records. They're made to be broken. They're not made to stay there forever. I mean, just leave me one. Leave me one, but all the other ones, break them.
You want her to set the record for 10s in your career.
I think it would be really cool. Maybe we should tie. A nice tie would be nice. Right now, she's got 4. I had 9 in my career. I think she can do it, and she needs that 10-0 on vault to get the gym slam, and she's just so impressive. I mean, as an athlete who is used to competing every single weekend, it's hard when you have to sit out due to injury or just due to anything. It really makes you appreciate it, and you see her, she is right there for her teammates always, cheering them on, giving them that encouragement. I mean, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, and the Gators, her teammates, have rallied. Florida already up by .550 after that beam rotation that was absolutely spectacular. 49.625, which was just 75 hundredths off of the score that was their season high on beam. Central Michigan is right there, even with that 49. Illinois, 49.05, and you've got NC State with a 49.075. So there is no doubt, Bridget, that we might see exactly what the afternoon session held, where it comes down to one of the final routines of the entire meet.
I mean, NC State, Illinois, Central Michigan right now, they won it. And I'm not sure if they're quite aware of the standings. I know as an athlete, when I was competing, I never knew what was going on half the time and scoring and everything. But, I mean, this is going to be a close competition if everyone can just stay on the apparatus and just keep the ball rolling. Just keep going and keep improving. I mean, it's going to be an exciting night. That's all I'm going to say.
I think it already has been as Florida moves to floor in rotation number 2, NC State to the bars, Illinois to the beam, and there's Central Michigan on the vault on the top left of your screen. Karina Jordan, check that Kennedy Ray Johnson getting ready to start things off for Central Michigan, and already Illinois is away on beam with Mia Towns to lead things off for the Fighting Illini.
And Mia's job right now is to just be concise with her movements and just be confident in herself. As the leadoff, it is so important for you to almost be a guaranteed hit on any event, but balance beam is really where you want to just improve every single athlete that goes by. Bump those scores up 1/10 at a time, a 1/2 at a time, and just keep improving.
Leah Clapper is leading off on the bottom right for Florida on floor. And there's Towns on the upper left.
And a nice Yurchenko full. A little bit of a pike down there. You saw she took that hop, but nice and clean. Good control on the landing. Just minor hop there.
Karina Jordan starts things off for NC State on bars, upper right of your screen.
And Mia Townsend for Illinois in that lower left corner doing a great job. Cat leap, side aerial into a back full. Sticks that landing. keep the momentum going. Her teammates are so excited for her, as they should be. Really nice job.
This is one of Illinois' better events, tied for 14th in the country on beam with a 49.275 NQS. I don't think that was quite a step out there for Leah. Do you think she went out? It was very close from that angle, couldn't tell.
I think she went out of bounds. I did not see a flag go up, but it looked pretty close. Have to see what the judges saw.
And this is the other event that Florida is the top in the country, floor exercise and beam. Rachel Borden getting set on beam for Illinois, bottom left. And saluting on bars in the upper right, NC State, that is Casey Nelson.
Nice reverse heck, nice turnover there on that release. Uneven bars was always my favorite event, and you just fly. I mean, you're swinging around the bar, blind full, double tuck, just a slight hop, but really nice control throughout that entire routine. Was a little short on those handstands. Would love to see her get right on top of the bar, but really nice and solid.
Bridget, did you like to jump out of trees when you were a kid? Is that your thing?
Jump out of trees?
Out of trees. Yeah, you love to fly.
Well, I can't say that I haven't done that, but once or twice. My mom was not very happy with me.
I can imagine.
And Rachel right now for Illinois in that lower left doing a fantastic job. She is beautiful with her grace on this event. You see her arm movements, so aggressive in her finishes. And she is coming after a 9.85 from Mia. And another stuck landing.
Momentum
Very
continues
nice job
right now
for Rachel.
Man, Illinois has been great. 9.85, and then we'll see what Borden gets. A couple of 9.675s for Central Michigan as they will try to boost that towards the end of their vault lineup. And Megan Skaggs, bottom right for Florida, a special athlete on floor.
And it looks like Leah Clapper did go out of bounds. She went 9.675. That is going to be a score that Florida is going to want to drop. So when you're watching these athletes in every event, you're going to see 6 athletes compete. 5 scores will count. So each team does have the ability to drop a score, which will be their lowest score. So Florida is going to look to drop that 9.675. And I don't think that's going to be a problem for them.
Megan Skaggs competing in the all-around. She has done that the last 7 weeks, was 4th at the SECs with a 39.5, and she has not gone below that for the all-around in the last 4 meets. So expecting a big score there. Nicole Biondi getting set now on beam, trying to continue the momentum for Illinois. Does it really build that much, Bridget? Can you feel it throughout the meet? Have a great first rotation, then continue it in the second, and at that point, is it just kind of like a downbound train and just get out of the way?
No, absolutely. It's more of just the energy and the confidence that you are able to get after each rotation. I mean, you go to bars. Illinois had a great bar rotation. Keep that momentum going. You just want to keep that energy up and keep your confidence up. I mean, Nicole Biondi, she's a senior. She is a seasoned veteran for this Illinois team, and watching her on bars, even after she was finished with her routine, she was right there for her teammates, keeping that energy up. I mean, she's a beautiful athlete on all 4 events.
And has really stood out this year to Coach Natalie Walsh and held the role as team mom, someone that keeps everybody together. And In a pandemic, you can use all the support that you can muster. I think everybody can, honestly.
I think every team has a team mom in one way or another.
Nice finish right there on bars for NC State, upper right for Meredith Robinson. Trying to follow up Lauren Kent's 9-9. And the score came in for Megan Skaggs for Florida on floor. It was a season-high 9-9. And so that sets the stage for Ellie Lazzari, the freshman.
Ellie has been so impressive. I mean, she is a freshman who has really bought into the program, bought into the process. Really just nice to watch her grow and improve every single meet. And
not only a
left.
freshman, Bridget, I'm going to do you one better. She just turned 18. She is a young freshman at that.
Wow. Very young freshman. Which just goes to show how mature she is as an athlete. I mean, 18 years old, competing on the big stage, and doing a phenomenal job.
So we're still waiting on the beam score for Nicole Biondi. Rachel Borden and Mia Towns both went 9.85. Kylie Noonan has gone as well, so waiting for both of those to see how Illinois is done here on their beam rotation. And we're about to see Mia Takakawa take the beam on the lower left. On the upper right for NC State, Caitlin Cox.
She is aggressive on bars. She's a strong swinger. Nice cast handstand. You see there right on top of the bar where she needs to be. And a nice floaty double layout. Would love to see her bend those knees and absorb that landing and get that stick. But a nice clean bar routine for NC State.
So for Florida, 9.67, 5.99 for Skaggs. Lazzari just went as well. And here's our first look of the evening for Sydney Johnson-Sharp. She was out because of strep throat and missed the SECs, along with Trinity Thomas. So a couple of important gymnasts that Jenny Rowland was down. And, you know, you start to add it all up and you kind of understand why, okay, maybe there was a letdown third place finish.
I don't want to say there was a letdown with the third place finish, but you know you have to work with what you're handed. I mean, you got to
right
whatever hand those cards are dealt. But I mean, Sydney is crucial to this floor rotation simply because not only is she dynamic with her tumbling, and you're going to see right here, huge Arabian double front. But her dance, she actually does most of her choreography.
Wow.
Which is really tough. I mean, that is
unique,
very
isn't
hard.
It?
Yes. So she does a really good job of just making it fit her personality to a T. And I mean, she's a performer.
Yeah, beautiful routine.
And you see in that upper right corner, NC State is really they just keep on keeping on. I mean, you see these scores. They're looking to drop that 9.775, but they've had a 9.9, 9.85. They're really keeping it consistent.
So we'll have to see what Emily Shepard was able to get on bars, what that score comes in as. And we will see. 9.85 for Ellie Lazzari, so that's following up Megan Skaggs' 9.9, and it looks for the moment like Florida is on track to drop Leah Clapper's 9.675. Well, certainly not dropping that score.
Really nice job for Sydney. Controlled landings on all of her tumbling passes and just a dynamic floor worker. And over on balance beam, Illinois in your top right corner. Nicole Biondi had a 9.675. They are going to look to drop that, but right now they're, again, consistency. All three scores minus Nicole Biondi's. I mean, 9.85, 9.85, 9.8.
Yep.
Mia is capable of a very big score on this event for Illinois. She is known for her beam work, and Illinois could use a big score here. Oh.
Oh.
And it looked like she just did not get off that front leg.
Yeah, she is capable of putting up a huge score. Mia's excellent on beam, but that's tough to watch because you know what she's capable of.
Well, and you see, getting the talk by the head coach, she's got 45 seconds to get back up on the balance beam after she falls. And she is going to be good. So right now, all she needs to do is finish this routine as strong as she can and confidently as she can. Really
Still
unfortunate
Shayla
for
Scott
Illinois.
to go for Illinois. And now on the right side, Nia Reed for Florida. Reed is second team All-American on floor, three-time SEC Specialist of the Week.
And a nice finish for Mia. Not the routine we wanted to see tonight. It looked like her leg, she just did not get off that leg, right? You see, she's stepping forward and just, oh, looks like it locked out a little bit, but I give her a lot of credit. She had a lot of control, and she knew exactly where she was. She doesn't seem to be rattled too much. Really nice finish for her, though.
Definitely just didn't get the amplitude she was looking for because of that. I mean, there was a lot of bend there in that leg. At least she seems to be okay. I think that's the silver lining there.
Yeah, gymnasts are pretty tough cookies.
You don't say.
They're pretty
Nia
tough.
Reed trying to follow up Sydney Johnson-Sharp's 9.875. And Florida on track once again to drop the 9.675. For beam, it's Shayla Scott to finish out the rotation. So they're going to have to count Nicole Biondi's 9.675, which is not a help at all, but we're still early on in the competition, and there's a lot to be done.
Oh, absolutely. And Nia Reed is going to be putting up a big score. Head coach Jenny Rowland even mentioned she is just crucial to this Florida team with her leadership, with her energy in the gym, and you saw it during that floor routine. I mean, she is just exciting to watch, and she loves to compete.
When Nia speaks, everyone listens. She just has that kind of effect on her teammates. And you can see why they listen, because she's got the goods to back it up. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
All right, so waiting on Takakawa's score. Florida will finish off with Alyssa Bauman. She had a 9.9 on floor at SECs to anchor the rotation, and Trinity giving her a little pep talk, a couple fist bumps. Unfortunately, on floor, that's all Trinity can do at the moment, but it is something.
Those little pep talks are so important. I mean, getting into the zone is so crucial to anything you're doing, but especially when you're at a big competition like this, you got to make sure that you're ready to go, and anything a teammate can say to help you get there is so important.
What was the message that you wanted to hear before a competition, before competing in an event?
I normally told everyone to go away. I
No
said I got this.
necessary.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Adrian would always give me a little pep talk, and I would say, "Okay, time to go. I'm good now." But no, just it was more of the eyes. If my eyes looked clear, you know, Jenny would always look into my eyes right before balance beam, and you see a lot of these head coaches do it. And that was a fantastic finish for Illinois. Shayla Scott coming after Mia's unfortunate fall. You talk about a gamer. Really nice beam routine, just what Illinois needed. Yes, not the rotation they necessarily wanted, but they worked through it. They fought. And there's still 2 more rotations.
And beam is tough. I mean, beam is not the highest scoring event usually, so if you can get through it and survive, and that seems to be what Illinois has done, I mean, you can take advantage of something like floor, where Illinois will go in rotation number 3, and Florida is finishing up here with Alyssa Bauman. Nia Reed posted a 9.95 just a few moments ago. So if Alyssa can get through this last pass here, the 9.675 is going away.
And a little short there. It looked like she kind of gave up on that landing, didn't have that rotation, and took the hop forward. She doesn't exactly look thrilled after that floor routine. You talk about
has high standards.
Being, yes, your biggest critic. Alyssa puts a lot of pressure on herself. You know, striving for perfection is what she wants always. So still a nice set for her.
Especially in her senior year, just a little bit more pressure. And yes, seniors can come back, we know that, but not all of them are going to take advantage of that. And most of them know. Jenny wouldn't tell us who was coming back, who wasn't. They have a loaded freshman class coming in, of course, with Morgan Hurd and Riley McCusker, but we'll just have to see who is back from the senior class. And if Alyssa knows that this is her last one, then you know she's gonna hold herself to that high standard.
Absolutely. I mean, she is just such an incredible athlete. Before even getting to college, her elite career, she has the experience. She knows how to hit big, strong routines. So yeah, she puts a little bit of pressure on herself.
I think deservedly so. Bauman turns in a 9.8, so that will stand. Leah Clapper's 9.675 does go away, and on beam, Mia Takakawa's fall there, the 9.025 will drop. They will count Nicole Biondi's 9.675. So what that means is after 2 rotations, Florida's got 99 on the dot, so they are well on track to a 198, which is a mark that they strive to hit, of course. Doesn't always happen, and it's much easier said than done, but one that they are capable of. NC State with a 98.4. There's Illinois right there with a 98.025, and Central Michigan falling behind just a bit. NC State, what a story this is after a couple of rotations. They are in position to advance, but Illinois is right there as well. And 2 rotations in the books. We are nowhere close to deciding who is going to the regional final. Still so much to do here from Athens. Back here inside Stegman Coliseum, Alex Perlman, Bridget Sloan with you as things really heat up. We have 2 rotations in the books now, and, well, one storyline that we are certainly following is NC State, after participating in the first round, having to face Western Michigan yesterday. They are in position to advance right now, and this was some bars rotation, 49.325. Lauren Kent putting in a 9.9, and that has the Wolfpack in position at 98.4 at the moment. Illinois in third with a 98.025. That's something to watch the entire time. But Bridget, your Gators, not surprising to see them really establishing themselves after a strong 49.375 on floor, and Megan Skaggs really kicked it off after Leah Clapper's 9.675, rebounding season-high 9.9 right here.
Yeah, Megan really just got him right back on track, which is exactly what she knows how to do. I mean, she's got the leadership qualities outside of the gym. Well, guess what? She's got them in the gym also. And right after her, Nia Reed put up a huge 9.95. I mean, she is so dynamic on this floor exercise. You see it in her dance and her tumbling. She flies high, but one thing she does so well is she has complete control of her landings, and she's rewarded I mean, 9-9, 9-9-5, those are some big scores.
All right, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about NC State right now. I mean, what they're doing in their second straight day of competition, a 98-4 to a 98-025 over Illinois. That's a substantial lead after 2 rotations.
That is a huge lead, and if I were NC State, don't look at the scores, don't look at where you're at, just keep in your lane and keep doing your job. I mean, they really are blinders on. They have a one-way track to that first place, second place finish. Yeah, first place maybe not, but second place, they are right where they need to be. And again, I know I mentioned it before, but they might have a little bit of a leg up. They've already competed in the arena. They've been on the equipment. They feel good, they feel confident, and they look fantastic.
And not only that, they scored a 196-425 against Western Michigan, which was their second highest score of the season. So they have some confidence going in. But also, this is a team that their highest score of the year was a 96-9. Remember what we saw from Denver. This is the number 9 team in the country earlier today. They qualified out of the afternoon session with a 196-775. So to say NC State is not capable is just not right. It's inaccurate.
Oh, correct. That is an inaccurate statement. And I mean, right now they're doing their job. They're staying in their lane. They are focused. They are determined. And you see it. I mean, their scores are showing. These scores are not just given to them. They are earned. And in that upper left corner.
Ewald to start things off for Illinois, and then talk about Florida right there in the upper left. Bridget?
Well, and there, Jazzy started things off with a nice full. Moving on to Ellie, the superstar freshman. I feel like I can say that.
I think you certainly can. On beam, Casey Nelson for NC State, trying to, again, continue that momentum that Illinois lost in rotation number 2. Only a 48-9-7-5 when they were on beam.
And you mentioned Illinois lost the momentum on balance beam. That is correct, but they can get it right back on floor. And with NC State on balance beam, I mean, beam is a make or break event. So it's really going to come down to these last routines and who wants it bad enough. And Ellie up there in the top left, wow. Nice Yurchenko full, great height. Just a slight hop on the landing. That's a 9.95 start value for Ellie and this Gator team. You're going to see some big vaults from the Florida Gators, though.
Having to follow up Jazzy Foberg's 9.7, which is a little bit of a surprise there. And so we'll see for NC State.
Nelson
on
for
beam,
NC
they are,
State.
Yep, tied for 29th in the country.
Great look here, Alex. We're on the same page.
Yeah, we certainly are. Even though we're talking at the same time, we're still on the same page.
Hey, it's impressive.
Some last-minute words of wisdom there to Kaylin Foland on beam for NC State. And Illinois, Kylie Noonan getting set on floor. Ellie Lazari a 9.8 on Florida, so 9.7, 9.8 so far.
And one thing that I have to mention about Kim, she does a great job of just connecting with these athletes. You see, when she talks to them, they have her undivided attention. And that just shows the connection she has. But it also just shows how bad these athletes want it. I mean, they are here. I think NC State might know where they're at right now, headed on balance beam. They're going to end on floor exercise, which is a really good event for them.
This is kind of a full circle moment also for Kim Landress, previously an assistant and the head coach at Illinois, leading the Fighting Illini to their 3 highest finishes in program history. So looking across the mat and seeing some familiar faces, or at least a familiar color.
And NC State with that front toss into her back handspring, showing such poise. The beam is only 4 inches wide, So keeping those shoulders up, over her hips, over her heels, she did a really nice job.
Nice finish there on the top right. On bars for Central Michigan, Ashley Viglucci. Sierra DeMarinis, a bit of a disappointing 9.55 to begin.
And for Florida in that upper left, Savannah Shanehair, huge 1.5. That's a 10-0 start value. Really nice, dynamic, nice control. Just a slight hop on that landing.
So we're going to keep upping the ante here, Bridget. We got 9.7, 9.8, 9.9 coming just most recently from Megan Skaggs. And hoping that those scores only continue to grow.
There might as well be a perfect 10 in there then, too.
You don't have any arguments from me there. We've already seen one here at this regional. It was Anna Loper on vault, which happened in the afternoon session. One of 3 so far in the regional competition all over. A couple in Tuscaloosa with Alabama's Luisa Blanco and Makari Doggett. Got a chance to see them tomorrow night. If you haven't seen Alabama, especially those 2 gymnasts, you are in for a treat. They have our side of approval.
They definitely do. And speaking of perfect 10 vaults, up next for Florida, in your upper left-hand corner, Nia Reed can put up a big score here. She's got a massive Yurchenko 1.5 coming. If she can control this landing, just a hop on the landing, but what you notice is she opens up her hips. I mean, she shows complete laid out position the whole time. If she sticks that vault, she can come pretty close, if not get that perfect 10.
It's just so much power to harness on that landing.
It's a lot of power, and it's a blind landing. I mean, having control and air awareness is so important on any blind landing, especially on vault.
Florida continuing to put some good scores up. Couple of 9.9s now. And we'll see what Nia has. That looked pretty solid to me. I think we're talking somewhere in that region as well with the 10-0 star value.
And for Illinois on floor, lower right, Nicole Biondi, she didn't have the beam routine she really wanted. So this is her opportunity to kind of put that behind her and showcase her floor abilities, which she is very strong on this event. She's got the power, she's got the grace, and she's just fun to watch.
Emily Shepard, the NC State all-arounder, lower left on beam. A 9.8 for Casey Nelson, then a 9.775 for Kaylin Foland already for NC State in rotation number 3.
NC State is making some moves here. Nice and aggressive handspring layout. If you watch NC State's finishes, each athlete has been doing this. I mean, they are aggressive all the way to their fingertips. Right to that finish. Emily's competing all around, only all-arounder for NC State. And again, you think about it, she did all around yesterday, and now she's doing it again today. I mean, that is really tough.
And not on podium either.
Correct, not on podium, but wow, what a finish. Side aerial, back full. Really nice job by Emily. Holding those consistent scores. I mean, they're going to look to drop that 9.775. 3 athletes have gone up on balance beam, 3 more to go. They will be dropping one of those scores and just have to see which one it is.
And just to show you the depth of the top-ranked Gators, Alyssa Bauman inserted into the anchor slot for Peyton Richards, and she puts up a season-high 9.825. I mean, Jenny can kind of put anybody in there and expect a 9.8 or better.
Jenny has a lot of talent on her Gator team.
I would say so, yeah.
The depth is there, and I mean, every athlete is fighting for a spot. There's only 6 athletes that compete on each event, and almost every single athlete is fighting for one of those spots.
So, Bridget, Florida is the first to finish the third rotation on vault, 49.275. They continue to put up some pretty big numbers, though nothing like the 49.625 that we saw on beam to start things off. And then a 49.375 as well. It all adds up to 148.275, and they are in great position to do exactly what they needed to here tonight.
Yeah, those are some pretty high scores. And the cool thing, I mean, they put up great scores, but they do amazing gymnastics. I mean, these scores, and I think that's so important to highlight, scores are not just given. They are not just handed to you. I mean, these athletes put in the work during preseason, during regular season to get to this postseason and put up these big scores.
All right, let's go to the lower left. Caitlin Cox following up a 9.875 from Emily Shepard, who has had a very strong night. As we mentioned, the only all-arounder for NC State.
And Caitlin right over the top of the beam on that serious handspring layout step out.
Nia Towns lower right for Illinois on floor. 9.875, 9.8975 so far, as the Illini look to gain back that momentum, but I'm not sure if NC State's going to give it up so easily.
Illinois is going to need a little bit of help from NC State. In Central Michigan, they're not far behind. I mean, it's anyone's game right now. NC State, though, is really, they are determined. I mean, balance beam, 4 inches wide, make or break event, and they are so fierce on this event so far.
Some jubilation there on the lower right on floor for Towns. Everybody knows how important that is. And a nice dismount on the other side for Caitlin Cox and NC State on beam.
And in your upper right, ooh, little over on that blindfold, couldn't get her hand on the bar. Savannah just trying to finish this bar routine. And a nice stuck dismount, just really kind of ran out of gas there on that blindfold, but her teammate before her, Hannah Demers, 9.925, season high for her.
And so that is certainly a highlight there, as bars has been difficult this go through for Central Michigan. Looks like they're going to be able to drop the 9.5 from Adriana Hammond. We'll have to see once Savannah's score comes in, but they'll have to count Sierra DeMarinis's 9.55 at the same time. So Florida is done on vault. We'll get you down to 3, and then that whittle down to 2 boxes, and then 1 as we go through each rotation and finish things off on floor with Illinois. So on the upper right now is where you can find North Carolina State on beam. Waiting on Caitlin Cox's score, and then Chloe Negretti will be able to go. Our first individual on bars, Kinsey Roby from Nebraska. Kinsey Davis will also follow, though the Kinseys spelled differently, if you're keeping track at home. And Negretti is on the beam. Score came in at 9.75 for Caitlin Cox for North Carolina State, and there it is.
Chloe is so poised, controlled on this event. She kind of surfs the beam in a way, and when I say that, she takes up the whole beam from one end to the other, right over the top there on that leap series. I love this angle because you see where they are, how crooked they are, and she is right over the top.
Massive amplitude there on floor for Abby Miller in Illinois. And that was the kind of routine that the Illini needed. This is still anyone's. We are not even close yet.
And a nice dismount for Chloe with NC State. They are definitely keeping it interesting here.
Now this is an impressive third rotation And that was a big score for Towns. Look at that, 9.875. And you've got your strongest coming up here with Miller, who we just saw compete, and Shayla Scott in the anchor. They could potentially drop this 9.75 from Caitlin Ewald, which led things off on floor.
All I'm going to say is the rotation is not over yet.
No, it's not.
There is still a lot going on. NC State on beam is really going to want to drop that 9.75. Chloe just did a fantastic, nice controlled beam routine. See what the judges think. And then Nicole Webb, she's an athlete who knows how to do big skills on balance beam. And you see head coach Kim Landris talking her through her prep.
So Abby Miller at a 9.75, which is tied for the low score right now with Ewald. So one of those they're hoping to drop and count the other. And now Shayla Scott on the bottom on floor for Illinois.
And Shayla, her lines are just stunning. Her shoulder flexibility and her flexibility in general, she really showcases during this floor routine.
Shayla had a 9.925 anchoring floor at the Big Ten Championships a couple weekends ago. We've been mentioning momentum, Bridget, and you know, like this could be what catapults Illinois into the final rotation if the anchor leg can finish out strong here with Scott.
It's definitely going to be down to the last routine of this last rotation. Nicole Webb for NC State on balance beam in that right corner. NC State is looking to drop that 9.75. Nice and aggressive handspring layout step out.
So floor finishes up for Scott, and now we just have a dismount remaining for Nicole Webb.
Nice front aerial right over the top of the beam. Sheep jump, a little more difficult side there, taking your eyes off the beam, coming right back. And it truly is just the dismount.
And there it is.
Just a slight step to the side, but really nice, clean, nice and aggressive on all of her skills. I mean, it's going to be close.
I think Kim Landris is going to be very happy with that beam rotation. Looking like at this point they'll be able to drop Caitlin Cox's 9.75 once Webb's score comes in, we'll know for sure. And still waiting on Shayla Scott's as well. And it is a 9.9. Okay. So the 9.75 from either Muller or Ewald, it doesn't really matter. One of them is dropped. And so that means a 49.2 on floor for Illinois. Wow, okay. Here's Peyton Murphy for Western Michigan, the individual competing on beam. And once we see Webb score, we're going to know exactly what we're dealing with here going into rotation 4.
It has me very excited for this final rotation.
On bars for Central Michigan, a 48.75. We mentioned Florida, who's just been watching for a while with a 49.275, and they're well on their way at this point. This is becoming a fight to the finish here for North Carolina State and Illinois. Remember, NC State was already up at this point. They were up by almost 4/10, so that's something to make up for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a 9.8 for Nicole Webb here, Bridget. Okay, so it's a 49.075 on beam for NC State, a 49.2 on floor. So that takes Illinois just that little bit closer. And it's 2,500ths now, isn't it?
They are getting closer and closer to bridging that gap.
Wow. It's all going to come down to the fourth rotation, just like we saw between Denver and Georgia in rotation number 1, or rather session number 1, that is. It's a long time ago. This afternoon.
We can't take away Peyton Murphy right now with Western Michigan here as an individual, doing the all-around. One thing that I love about the gymnastics community is even when you are an individual, a team pretty much adopts you. They take you in and make you feel part of the team, and that is just very, very cool to see. Peyton with a nice beam routine, nice finish all around, and I don't know if those are arm bumps or not quite sure what those are, but I like it. I like it.
We'll define those during the break, but we've had 3 rotations in the books at this point, and it is really getting close. 0.25 separating NC State and Illinois. It is still a lead for the Wolfpack, but just barely, with the Fighting Illini looking to qualify for the regional final tomorrow night. And we are so excited. For the first time ever, the national championship on April 17th is going to be on ABC. Semifinals the day before, and that is what these teams are fighting for here at Stegman Coliseum, to get to the regional final and then the national semis, and then hopefully to 4 on the floor. The story that is developing right now is Florida is certainly on its way to qualifying for tomorrow night. But Bridget Sloan, NC State is holding off Illinois, trying to get to its 3rd meet in as many nights.
I mean, not only are they competing 2 days in a row, but they are very close to competing 3 days in a row. I mean, I don't want to say that they have been shocking tonight, because they haven't. They're doing their job, but they are, I mean, they are determined. You see it on their face. You saw it on that beam rotation. They are keeping consistent, and they are just out there staying in their lane, focusing on them and what they can do.
Right now, it is a 0.25 difference separating NC State and Illinois. Remember, this is a format where only the top 2 teams in each session advance to the regional final. We know it's going to be Denver and Minnesota who is going to face them. Most likely Florida, and then is it NC State or Illinois? We are about to find that out. Bridget, when you think about competing, not only, I mean, you know, 1 meet is hard enough. Now you've got to go here for a 2nd. And not only do you have to do that, but the pressure is on with great programs like Illinois and Central Michigan. You have to perform at your best, only to get the opportunity to go up against, we know, Denver and Minnesota, and probably Florida as well. This is a tall task, but just to get there would be absolutely impressive for head coach Kim Lounders.
No, absolutely. And I think the cool thing is what you just said. It's an opportunity. I mean, this is a huge moment for NC State to really solidify, hey, not only did we compete yesterday, we're competing today, and we're ready to compete tomorrow. I mean, it just shows the grit that that team has. And they are really, you would never know that they competed yesterday. They don't seem run down whatsoever. They seem really high energy, and you can tell that the confidence is there in all their skills, all the routines, and those girls are having fun. I mean, I think they now understand and realize, I'm sure they've looked at the scoreboard, they know that it's within reach.
So it is going to be the floor exercise for NC State, where the Wolfpack are tied for 29th in the country. For Illinois, they're on the vault. They're the 24th ranked team in the country on vault. And I'll hit you with a couple more numbers. NC State's season high on floor is 49.3. Illinois' season high on vault is 49.2. So just something to think about. Of course, execution is all that matters at this point.
execution and details. Sticking those landings. I mean, we saw it in the afternoon session. Going and moving on to the next round can be, all it takes is a step. All it takes is a missed handstand. So Illinois is going to be finishing first. They are on vault, so they are going to be finishing first, and they will be in the unfortunate waiting game, which no one likes to be in the waiting game. No one likes to play that game. That's not a fun game.
Alex Perlman, Bridget Sloan with you here in the Athens Regional. What we've already seen, Minnesota and Denver, though just barely Denver over Georgia. That was as close as it gets. It came down to the final rotation. .025 was the difference, but we are seeing something similar right now between Illinois and NC State. Even though Illinois is the 16th seeded team, we know, Bridget, what's your favorite thing to say? Anything can happen, and that is exactly what we've seen tonight in the evening session.
Well, I was gonna say it.
I didn't give you a chance, unfortunately.
But I didn't get to.
Well, you're going to say it another time throughout, I think, this weekend.
Oh,
There's no doubt about
that. I definitely will.
So here we go. Illinois on the top left. See Florida. They're going to bars on the top right. NC State is going to be on the bottom right of your screen. They are on floor, and it's beam for Central Michigan. And there's a good start for Illinois.
Nice Yurchenko full, nice laid out position. Piked it down just a little bit at the end, but had such control. Just a very, very minor hop there. And Peyton Richards in top right for Florida. Nice start on uneven bars. We are cruising here. And you see in that top left for Illinois, Nicole Biondi. She is a senior and an all-arounder tonight. This will be the final event for her. Hopefully not the final event for her career. She is a senior, but it's going to be a battle between NC State and Illinois for that second place spot.
Biondi has come back from multiple injuries throughout her career, finishing things up on vault and a stick.
And a nice job. I mean, Illinois is going to bring it here. They know what's on the line, and NC State does too. And Central Michigan in the lower left on balance beam, they could have a lights out performance.
Florida finishing things up on bars. Ellie Lazari getting ready to finish out her all-around competition. The freshman out of Wheaton, Illinois.
Very nice Tkachev. She has great turnover. One thing to point out, her toe point and her execution is so beautiful. She really is a beautiful bar swinger. And just the dismount. Just a couple steps back, didn't get that stuck landing, but ultimately a very, very good routine for Ellie. And the Gators are doing their job.
There is Mia Takakawa on vault, top left. Trying to follow up the 9.85 from Nicole Biondi, who, if this is her final competition, just went out with a bang. Caitlin Cox readying to go now for North Carolina State. Karina Jordan's leadoff in the books, waiting on her score.
in Central Michigan in that lower left on balance beam. I think if I was Central Michigan, you just got to go out there and have fun. You know, doing your job is one thing, but having fun is the most important part, because it normally comes with doing your job. And NC State, that was a big mistake. Lower right, she ended up just doing a front half.
And so that could certainly open up the door now for Illinois, with Mia Takakawa throwing down a 9.8. The lowest score at the moment is 9.75 on vault for Illinois, and there's another big vault for the Illini.
Wow.
Mia Towns following it up.
And that is a 10-0 start value. Yurchenko 1.5.
So Karina Jordan for NC State had a 9.85 to begin. We know that Caitlin Cox is going to post a score that NC State will want to drop. And now the pressure is on Madison Benson, Casey Nelson, Emily Shepard, and Chloe Negretti. I mean, that just transfers it over to your teammates. It's not like they can't perform at that kind of level, but there's no margin for error at this point.
And that's when you have to look at your teammates, or your teammates can look at you and say, don't worry, I got this. I mean, these athletes have done these routines hundreds of times. And if you think of it as the routine of your life, mistakes can happen. If you think of it as this is just another routine, you're capable of doing amazing things.
So for Florida on bars, a 9.825 for Peyton Richards, a career-high 9.9 reset by Ellie Lazzari, and now we are getting set here for Florida to continue out their rotation. They are in great shape to advance and to win this first session of their NCAAs. Of course, the second session of the day, though it also doesn't really matter. At this point, you just got to be top two. And Savannah Shanehair on the top right for Florida.
She is so beautiful on this event. And one thing that you're going to see, this is a treat for us. Her dismount is probably one of the highest dismounts in NCAA. Double front with a half out. I mean, she is incredible on uneven bars. And uneven bars coached by assistant Owen Field. He really does a great job with this team, and Jenny is just rocking and rolling with her Gators.
Yep, business as usual right now for Florida. And we're getting set on the top left on vault for Illinois. Julia Waite trying to follow up the 9.825 from Lexi Powell. So that means that Abby Muller, if Waite is able to put up a great score, they'll be able to drop Abby Miller's 9.75. Let's see if that happens. Oh, it will. Illinois doing exactly what they needed to do, Bridget, in rotation 4.
Wow. I mean, that was a lights out vault rotation for Illinois. Control on all the landings, but unfortunately now they will be in the waiting game. They are now finished with that final rotation. Still a lot left to go here for NC State on floor, for Florida on bars, and for Central Michigan on beam.
And it was worth the wait, I'm sure, but this is the only time we'll get to see Trinity Thomas in this competition. On bars, upper right for Florida. One of the best athletes in the country. She has a perfect 10 this year in this event.
I almost wonder if the judges that are judging Trinity on bars just put their pens down and just watch. I mean, perfect on her handstands, right on top of the bar, and a double layout.
Oh, that's perfection, is it not? That's in the running. Let's put it that way.
That was a gorgeous routine. And for someone who has been dealing with injuries, that is an amazing feat for her. Getting out there. She's only competing one event. But man, does she do that event to perfection.
I hope she is back for the all-around at semis nationally.
I'm sure
if
Florida
Florida's
does
able
too.
to get there. Wow. That's really, really good. And we're just waiting on her score to see how she does in the 5 spot. Oh, that had to be a 10 with the type of reaction that's
10.
getting. Has to be. Yeah, there's the chomp. Little heart. And Trinity Thomas just sitting around the entire meet when she's used to doing every single event, and she comes out with the 4th 10-0 of the NCAA championships.
I mean, she is a true competitor, and she knows when to turn it on. I mean, she knows when it's go time and it's game time.
So, Bridget, there's another one down. How many does she need now? 4 more?
4 more. Again, a nice tie would be nice. You don't have to totally take it. Just tie.
And, of course, we're talking about the career 10-0 mark for the University of Florida. Right now it's Bridget, but she wants Trinity to have something to say about it by the time her senior year is done.
And that
now,
bottom
Gabrielle
right.
Galentine to finish things out for Florida. And you mentioned bottom right. Let's talk about NC State.
And NC State is still chugging and doing their thing. Caitlin Cox had a 9.725. They are going to want to drop that. But Madison Benson so far, really nice job. Nice double tuck to finish that floor routine.
Way to finish for Florida. Galentine with a huge bars routine. The only question is, what are they going to drop? It's probably going to be Peyton Richards' 9.825, which is ridiculous. And then we'll see what Galentine puts up and what the final mark is for Florida if they're able to get to that 198 mark.
I think they'll be pretty close.
Yeah. And so now Illinois can just wait a very respectable 49.175. They dropped Abby Miller's 9.75 in the leadoff spot. And now it's down to what the Wolfpack can do. They are trying to make history. No team has ever advanced out of day 1 to get to the regional final. We should put a caveat on that. This is only the 2nd time this format has happened. But NC State did get to day 2, to this round, the 2nd round, last year, or rather, I guess it wouldn't be last year, it would be 2019, since the championships was canceled because of the pandemic in 2020. But they did not get to the regional final. So some history on the line here for the Pack. Illinois' final score is a 196.4.
Which is a great score. That no matter what happens with NC State and Illinois, I mean, both those teams put it out on the line. And we can't forget, Central Michigan has been dealing with a lot this season. And they have still come out and performed so well. So that cannot go unnoticed. I mean, this whole competition tonight has really been impressive.
Just losing 6 gymnasts on bars alone. So just to get to this point is very impressive. There's no doubt for Christine McDonald.
And these are the moments that it's really, I mean, these are great confidence boosting moments. These are the moments when you are having a really hard day, you think back and say, remember what we did? Remember last year when we did this? I mean, it really is important to remember these moments.
So Florida got close, a 197.95. That is easily going to win this session. And now all eyes are on NC State on the right of your screen on floor. A 9.85, 9.725, then a 9.825 just now for Madison Benson. It was a 0.25 difference. That is what Illinois has to make up in order to pass NC State and advance to the regional final tomorrow night.
And NC State needs, it'd be amazing to break into that 9.9 range, but if they can hold a 9.8, 9.825 or better, I'm no mathematician, but they should be able to hold it.
Slight wobble there. And we'll have
A little bit of a balance check. I was about to say, she flew high on those tumbling passes. She had control on that landing. Just a little bit of lack of rotation on that final pass, but it's going to be close.
Morgan Tongue on the left side finishing things off for Central Michigan. Chippewa's Hannah Demers just put up a 9.875. That's a new career high for her. And so finishing off strong here on beam. We are awaiting Casey Nelson's score, and then it will be Emily Shepard and Chloe Negretti to decide if the season continues for upstart NC State or if it comes to an end in Athens, Georgia tonight.
Now I feel like we're playing the waiting game.
That's probably because we are.
It is very exciting in Athens, Georgia tonight.
Well, remember, they have to get, it's different scoring once you get to the postseason. There are 4 judges. The top score drop, the lowest score drop. They average the middle 2, and so there's got to be some consensus to come in. We have to figure out what judge is putting what number down, and there's a lot to get sorted here.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Bridget, you've waited for a score or two in your career.
Oh, I've waited for a couple. Definitely waited for a couple.
There it is, 9.8 for Casey Nelson. So that's continuing on this path. Here's Emily Shepard. She's the only all-arounder for North Carolina State, and she is finishing out her night. The EAGL Gymnast of the Year, the second straight member of NC State to earn that award. We saw in bars earlier, current senior Lauren Kent took that honor. Emily Shepard has continued the NC State legacy. This is Kinsey Roby on beam for Central Michigan, part of a trio of Nebraska gymnasts that are competing here.
And a huge double pike for Emily in that right corner. This is a big moment for NC State. This is a big moment for Emily Shepard. She is an all-arounder going into her second consecutive day of all-around competition.
Emily needs a 9.75 to seal the deal for the Wolfpack and vault them into the regional final.
So far, and I don't want to jinx it, but it is looking good for NC State.
One of the biggest passes of Emily Shepard's career.
Oh, wow.
That's got to do it.
And a huge double tuck, complete control on the landing. Wow.
We may be about to see history.
That was an amazing, amazing routine. Again, they competed. They had a full competition yesterday. I cannot stress that enough. Full competition yesterday. They have a full competition today, and there's a very good possibility that they're going to have a full competition tomorrow, 3 days in a row. I mean, you talk about a team that wants it.
Also a team that, if you talk with many in the gymnastics community, a lot were surprised to see in the first round. They've had to battle that to just get past Western Michigan and then to get to this point as well, just with a chance to have a regional final appearance. Emily Shepard is getting plenty of congratulations. We are waiting on her score. If it's a 9.75 or better, it means North Carolina State is going to the regional final.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a 9.95.
I did see
flashed.
that. I did see that, and if that's any indication, we'd say the chances are pretty good. There's another hug as we wait.
And it is a 9.925.
NC State from day one to the regional final. History in Athens.
Wow.
The second year of this format, no team did it in 2019. And Central Michigan NC State that is, becoming the first. What a story. It doesn't matter what Chloe Negretti does. Obviously, she would want to put together the best routine as possible, but there is nothing that she could do that will change the fact that her team will be competing tomorrow night with Florida, Denver, and Minnesota for a shot at nationals.
Wow. Right now, Chloe just needs to go out there and have fun. I mean, this is her moment to gain confidence, because guess what? You're competing tomorrow.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, we were discussing before, and even during the afternoon session, Bridget, we might be biased, but we think this is the toughest region, and we're seeing it. I mean, Denver, Minnesota, and Georgia going down to the wire. Florida was excellent as usual, but NC State and Illinois absolutely had to battle for that second spot, and the Wolfpack by 2/10 over the 16th seeded Illinois Fighting Illini.
Wow. She may not think her score means a whole lot, but this is going to be another big score, and who knows? That 9.725, I think, might get dropped from Caitlin Cox. Chloe doing a fantastic job on that floor routine.
And so NC State is going to have to get in the cold tub really quick. Because not only, Bridget, do they have to compete tomorrow, this is less than 24 hours now that they're going to get before they have to start things up at 7 Eastern time. And we'll be with you, of course, once again from Athens here on the ESPN app.
Cold tub and straight to bed, ladies. Gotta get plenty of sleep. You guys have a big day tomorrow.
Just continuing their 3 big days now that they're going to have. Lots of sleep needing to be had, lots of energy needing to be replenished, and we will see them. And that's one of the better stories. We did see an upset in the afternoon session earlier today. We saw in the Morgantown Regional Ohio State beating out 12th ranked BYU to get there, but I think this is even, I mean, it might even be a little bit more significant with NC State coming through.
I don't want to take away from anyone or any team, but I mean, NC State competing 2 days in a row, now moving on to 3 days in a row. I mean, these athletes, you almost wonder if, because the season was cut short last year, if it means something different. It's a little bit more important to them simply because they didn't know. You know, this whole season has kind of been the unknowing, and it is incredible to see these teams come together and just do amazing gymnastics.
I don't think there's any doubt in talking with all the coaches this week before the regional started that there is just a greater sense of gratitude and appreciation this season than ever before. A lot of them didn't know that there was going to be a season until maybe only a month before they actually got going. There was no summer session. The falls were basically cut short, and to see these gymnasts competing at this type of level, it's a testament to the coaching staff, it's a testament to the athletes.
Absolutely. And speaking of testament to the athletes, Western Michigan, Peyton Murphy right now on floor as an individual, as an all-arounder. What a night for her.
And she had a great competition. one of the athletes that was hoping to be with her team here in Athens. But, of course, we know NC State was able to take down Western Michigan. And, well, the Wolfpack showing that they are going to go much further than that, all the way into the regional final. Again, the first time that has ever happened that a team has gone from the first round to the regional final.
Man, I hope they brought an extra leotard. They had to bring 3 leotards this weekend.
Well,
Things
there's
you
no
don't
way
think about unless you were a gymnast.
Very true. Very true. But there's no way they're going to bring 2 thinking, oh, there's no way we get to the regional final. That would never happen. They've got 3.
Oh, they definitely have 3, and I cannot wait for tomorrow's competition.
It's going to be incredible. We know it's going to be Florida. That's the top-ranked team in the country. Minnesota's number 8, Denver number 9, and NC State, the true dark horse. Resetting our bracket, we say goodbye to Central Michigan and Illinois, as well as Georgia, who gave it their all on their home floor, as well as Oregon State. And there it is, Minnesota, Denver, Florida, and the Wolfpack. That should be an exceptional night of gymnastics, and we have already gotten it circled. We've started, we've underlined it. Saturday, 7 Eastern time on the ESPN app. You will see that, as well as the other 3 regional finals tomorrow evening. I mean, this has been a day that you cannot underestimate in terms of the storylines that have just flowed around, the type of gymnastics that we've seen. Bridget, we're pretty lucky to be able to witness this. Both of these sessions were absolutely electric.
I mean, we are witnessing and making history here. First time that regionals is getting covered by ESPN, which is so amazing. And now, NC State on to day 3. I mean, this has been one of the coolest competitions to watch and be part of.
Well, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. When we come back, we will talk to head coach Kim Landris of the North Carolina State Wolfpack and get her thoughts on advancing all the way from the first round to a shot at the national semifinals. Here in Stegman Coliseum, Alex Perlman, Bridget Sloan with you, recapping quite the evening session of gymnastics. For the first time ever, North Carolina State advances from the first round to the regional final. Not only has it never happened to the Wolfpack, it's never happened in history in its second year. Taking a look at the best performances here for NC State. This was Chloe Negretti with a 9.875. Just really starting things off, Bridget, and the Wolfpack took off from there. I mean, they were unstoppable.
They kept that momentum up, and I know we talk about that every single rotation, but moving on to bars, Lauren Kent, I mean, they were on their game tonight, and they were doing their job, but they were also having fun, and you could tell they were light, they were airy, they were just out there doing some gymnastics, and they just happened to be getting really good scores. And they kept that momentum going on to balance beam. Emily Shepard, the all-arounder for NC State. Not only did she do all-around yesterday, she did it tonight. And, well, fun fact, you're going to probably do it tomorrow, Emily, so make sure you hit the cold tank. But just, I mean, the perseverance that this team showed tonight and the determination is just, I mean, it was amazing to watch.
And not only that for Shepard, with a 39.5, she won the all-around event. When you're talking about Florida being involved, that is pretty solid. Emily Shepard and NC State moving on. Wow, what a night for the Wolfpack. And now we bring in the head coach of NC State, Kim Landris. Kim, just tell me what's going through your mind right now. It must kind of be a whirlwind at this point.
You know, I am just so proud of this team. After conference, we really just went in the gym and embraced everything after that selection show. And this team has so much grit, so much passion, and so much purpose. And they went out here, and our motto today was fight to the finish. And they did just that, and now we're not finished yet.
And Kim, were your athletes aware of just how close it was between Illinois and NC State? Or were you, I mean, it looked like you guys almost had blinders on and you were just doing your thing.
You know, we talk all about just doing our thing and stay in our bubble and control what we can control, and we couldn't control what they did. So I have no idea if they know. They're competitors, so I feel like some of them probably knew, but we never talk about it. We just wanted to go out and do our job, and they did their job.
Now, Kim, 3 competitions in a row basically never happens. How do you get your team ready for this when, I mean, it's the end of the season and, you know, you've got to make sure that their bodies are ready to go at this point?
Well, before we came here, we did a lot of rest and recovery, and we really just kind of planned practices in a way that they would be recovered. After that selection show, some of our girls were like, we are going to day 3. So we planned for it. And so they'll be ready tomorrow.
Coach, congratulations. We cannot wait to see you tomorrow in the regional final.
Thank you. Go Pack!
So NC State with a 196.775. They get in past Illinois and Central Michigan. Florida taking the top spot with a 197.95. Bridget, what are your takeaways from quite the night?
I mean, this is an amazing sport. I've lived it. I've been a part of it. But being able to watch these athletes just do not necessarily the impossible, but just make anything happen. I mean, NC State, they competed yesterday, they competed today, and they are competing tomorrow. I mean, they fought till the end, every single routine, every landing. It was so impressive to watch, and I cannot wait for tomorrow's competition.
NC State has so much momentum going in. We'll see if they can continue that on some tired legs, but they are there, and that is all that Kim Landress and the Wolfpack really care about at this point. Florida doing what the Gators do with the 197.95, and they easily advance, and they will join Denver and Minnesota in the regional final. We have had both the afternoon and evening session in the books, and we know the 4 that will head to the regional final, and we will see you there tomorrow night, 7 Eastern time on the ESPN app. Florida, Minnesota, Denver, NC State fighting for nationals. Thanks so much for joining us here from Athens with Bridget Sloan. For our entire crew, I'm Alex Perlman saying so long. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.